Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
First up this evening, the Ministry of National Security says the 2 Jamaicans who were deported to St. Kitts and Nevis from the United States as part of the Third Country National Agreement have decided to stay there.
The details were revealed in response to questions posed by our Newscentre.
Jamila Maitland has the details.
The 2 Jamaicans who landed in St. Kitts and Nevis in May were the first to arrive on the island as part of the Third Country National Agreement with the United States. And according to the Ministry of National Security, the Jamaicans, who TVJ News has come to learn are 2 males, have decided to remain there. The ministry says it received information from its counterparts that the Jamaicans will not be returning home, at least not for now. It also says the Jamaicans are not in custody and were landed as ordinary passengers. The ministry also says it had no information to suggest any crimes were committed by the 2 Jamaicans in the U.S. As for why the men were removed from the U.S. and why they weren't deported directly to Jamaica, the Ministry of National Security could not say. TVJ News posed a similar question to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. However, we have not received a response. The ministry says it was not contacted by the U.S. authorities about the deportation of the 2 nationals to St. Kitts and Nevis. It said it learned through a diplomatic note from the Kittitian government on May 22 that it received 2 Jamaican nationals. The National Security Ministry, in describing the usual deportation process, says after exhausting the legal avenues to stay in the U.S., the authorities then start to coordinate with the Jamaican officials for removal. In all of the instances listed by the ministry, it said the Jamaican government is made aware. However, when asked how the deportation process differs under the TCN agreement, it said the coordination is only between the sending and the transit countries. In the case of the 2 Jamaicans, the US and St. Kitts and Nevis. Jamaica and the U.S. government have signed an MOU for a similar program. Unlike St. Kitts and Nevis, the ministry in its responses to TVJ News on July 7 said foreign nationals are not entitled to remain in Jamaica. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang just a couple weeks before said there was no guarantee that the foreign nationals would leave after landing in Jamaica. No, the government says the foreign nationals may be removed legally. As for when the Jamaican government plans to receive its first batch of TCN, the National Security Ministry says not until it has satisfied several other concerns, which include the potential health and security risks, housing and monitoring, among other issues. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.